Hello guys, in previous session we have seen how to create user defined exception theoretically. We have seen all aspects. What is user defined exception, why we need user defined exception, and how to create user defined exception theoretically. What are the rules that we have to follow? If you have missed the last session, please go to the back session, watch the full video where I have explained each and every term about user defined exception. In this session, I am going to give you a practical demonstration how we can create our own exception class and how to implement the same, how to use a particular logic, how to throw the exception, user defined exception. Each and everything I am going to explain in this video. So please watch this video till the end and put your comment at the end. Have you created your own exception class? In this session, we are going to see how to create our own exception class. What are the rules for those exception class? And in this session, I am going to use simply a notepad to write a Java program, and then we are going to compile this Java program with the help of command prompt and Java commands. So here I am not going to use any special editor. We can use a lot of editors available in the market, but here I am going to use a notepad to write the application so that you will be clear about the concept. In future, we are going to use some editors like Eclipse or Visual Code, and all those editors are also useful for rapid development. But for time being, for today's session, we are not going to use any ready-made IDE for Java programming, but we are going to use simply a notepad to type the program, and we are going to use Java C command from command prompt to compile the program. So watch this video till the end and put your comments at the end of the video. So let us start our practical part where we are going to type the program, and I am going to explain each term while creating the program. So let me start. So here I will just open a notepad. Here we are going to begin with our actual programming. So here I am going to create a simple private variable string, and that string, the purpose of creating this private variable is to store the reason for the exception. We are not allowed to create exception without any reason. When we are saying it is exception, there should be a situation why we are creating this exception, and therefore it's mandatory to declare one private variable that will be the reason for your actual exception. And here I am going to declare this with the help of string. So let us create our own class. I am directly starting with the program class. Let's say it's a my exception. See, this is the name of class. The rule is your exception class must be the subclass of exception class. So here we are going to use inheritance concept. So my exception class extends exception. Now this exception class is by default available in java.lang package, and all classes and interfaces from java.lang package are by default imported. So I don't need to import exception class because it is by default imported in each Java program. So this is my exception class, and inside it I am declaring the private variable private. So here I am saying string, and just name is str. Okay, you can give any name. We have satisfied two rules here. The rule number one, your user defined exception class must be subclass of exception class, and second rule, it must have at least one private variable, and that will store the reason for this exception class. So here we are going to use str as a reason. The third rule, that you have to use a constructor that will accept a string type of argument. So let us say s. Okay, now why I'm using string? Because our private variable is of type string. Okay, and what we are doing inside it, we are just going to assign value of s to the str. Finish. Now my exception class has a constructor with argument, and this constructor we are going to use while creating exception. So we are going to use it with throw, or we can create a separate object and then we can throw it. But while creating the object of this class, we are going to generally use this constructor by passing the actual reason why we are programmatically creating an exception. This is rule number 3. Rule number 4, we have to write code for toString method, which is already there in exception class, but again we have to write it here. So here public, now this returns a string, toString method, and here we have to return a string, and that will contain the reason for this exception has been created. Now toString method will get called automatically generally in catch blocks, where we are going to display the reason for creating exception. Okay, so toString method will get called automatically, but it's a code. If its code is not given, then it will be called from exception class, and that will not contain actual reason. The actual reason is there in str variable here in this class, and therefore we have to display it. So here you can return a string, and you can return like this, a reason, and in reason you can use something like this structure, square bracket plus the value in str, again plus end of square bracket. Okay, now this is what happens. I am trying to display the reason in a square bracket with the proper headings reason, and this is the way you can make your outcome attractive, so that user friendliness can be maintained. When you are writing programs like this, user should not get confused. User should get an appropriate message why this exception has been created. And the actual reason we are putting in a square bracket. You can use any other format, but this is, I think, most suitable with the existing Java classes, and therefore I'm using this format. So this is a simple class, my exception, which is a subclass of exception class, which has one private variable, which has constructor with argument, and we are writing code for toString method. So all 4 rules are satisfied here. Now we are going to use this class for creating actual exception. So now I'm going to write a public class, let's say user exception demo. Now this is class name. Now here I will put this public static void main. We are using notepad, that's why we have to type each and everything. You will not get any automated pop-ups, and that is why I am recommending for all new learners, at least try to use some programs in such editors without using any editor, just like use a notepad. Okay, or you can use a DOS base editor. Now I am going to use a try block, try, and inside a try I will directly create and throw. Here we have to use new keyword, my exception. Now here we are creating this exception for testing purpose. So I am just saying the reason is a test. So this is the throw statement, which will be provided with a catch block, my exception E. Okay, now this is what we have to display here. We have to use a simple message, system.out.println, and here I am just giving a message caught and colon, and what caught, just say plus E, whatever available inside object E. So this message will be printed. So this is catch block is over. I have to just finish the main and the class. So here now we have to save the program. Instead of using save, I am going to use save as option, and I have created a folder on Java test, and here what I will do is I will say all files, and then I have to give the name of public class, user exception demo, user exception demo. This will be the class name, and same thing will be used for file name. .java is the program name extensions. So here we have finished with the programming. Now let us compile the program. So let me open the command prompt. Now this is the command prompt. Now here I will first go to the folder D drive, go to Java test, and now here I have to compile. The file name is user exception demo.java. You can keep the name smaller so that you don't need to type this big name. Okay. There is one error. The string S, by mistake it is now, I have to make it, I have to convert it to uppercase string. Okay, now let us run the program. So here Java space user exception demo. Now this is file name, and it will automatically choose the .class file. Just press the enter, and here you can see caught reason in square bracket test. So this is how you can create your own exception classes. Now in this demonstration I have used only a sample test, but in real life applications you have to use something like date mismatch, and you have to pass these dates as arguments while creating exception object. Okay, and already I have discussed the different reasons why we need to create such classes. When we need some situations where we need to create our own exceptions, we can write classes for such situations. It may be to satisfy some business rules, some constraints, or it might be any situation where you want to generate any exception, logical situation. But we have to follow these 4 rules for creating our own exception class. Now, in this program I have created exception class, and in the same program I am using try and catch block for that exception. But what you can do is you can create such exception classes, and you can create your own package that will contain your own exceptions, and that package you have to import in your every program where you want to create objects for those exceptions. I hope your idea of user defined exception is now clear with this practical demonstration. And if you have got any value from this video, please put this in your comment. You can comment your own program. You can write a small program for user defined exception and you can put it in the comment box. And if you have got any value from this video, please subscribe my channel and share this with your friends. Thank you. In next session, I will give you the overall view of exception handling that we have seen till today. Thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video.